Hi everyone, my name is Becky and this is AHandKnitLetter. Today let's talk about some free knitting patterns for spring and summer. Today is I think like 17 degrees right now and there's snow on the ground and it's very cold and I'm very done with it. So if you're like me, you're ready for spring, and I have it on good authority that winter it will be over soon, spring will be here, and then after that, summer. You're probably very impressed on my knowledge of seasons.
Who are you, who are so wise in the ways of science?
I am Arthur, King of the Britons.
My liege!
I want to share with you some spring and summer knitting patterns that I think are really cute, and I would make and wear all of these, and I probably will make quite a few of them. So first up is a pattern called Atul by Audrey Borrego. And I'm going to share quite a few patterns from Audrey Borrego with you today because she recently placed her pattern catalog up for free, and she is a beautiful knitwear designer. So this one is an oversized summer textured cardigan that's knit from the top down. It's slip stitch texture with cables running down the front, and it's just open. I really like that, especially for the spring and summer. It comes in a bust circumference starting at 37.5 inches all the way to 76 3/4 inches. This pattern is knit in sport weight yarn, and it calls for 875 all the way to 2012 yards depending on your size. And this was knit in Lana Grossa linen yarn, so this is a linen cardigan, which I think would be really nice over a tank top or a dress. Or even a t-shirt, but I think it would be or even a cover up for a bathing suit. I think would be super cute. So that was the Atul by Audrey Borrego. The next pattern is also by Audrey Borrego. This is the Palmire. It is a cardigan, a simple cardigan with a lace panel on the back and front. It's knit sideways, and she says that you can adjust the bust to any desired width. So this already comes in a bust circumference of 35.5 inches all the way to 70 3/4 inches. But if you're needing something larger or smaller, then you would just adjust that. And she shows you in the pattern how to adjust that to a larger or smaller size. This is knit in fingering with lace held together to make a sport, but you could just knit it in a sport weight yarn. When we hold things double, it does tend to get expensive, so that's something to consider. This is knit on a US size 5 needle. It's a Floreale top by Amanita, Agata, Mackiewicz. This calls for a sport weight yarn US 4 needles. Yardage requirements 819 to 1365. The bust circumference is 36 inches to 64 inches. This is top down and seamless. The neckline and the armholes are finished with an I-cord, and the lace panel on the back has an I-cord tie. And I think this is really cute. I love the folded hem at the bottom. I love all the detailed finishes on this top. Okay, moving on. This is the Anya. It's by Comfort Zone Knits. It's knit out of DK. It's a size 4 US needle that it calls for, and the yardage requirement is 820 to 1367. It's knit top down. It's a simple casual tee with eyelets and twisted ribbing. I really like the boxy shape of this top. That's a silhouette that I particularly like to wear. I know that's not for everyone, but it checks a box for me. This doesn't have the most inclusive size range, unfortunately. The bust circumference is 30 to 50 inches. So this is our final Audrey Borrego pattern. It's called Telesto. It's a top-down saddle drop shoulder top. It can be knit A-line or straight, and it has a bust start option, which I think is fantastic to think about all the different options she includes in this free pattern. It has charted and written instructions and video tutorials. So I think it's incredibly generous that she's offering this pattern for free, being that so much work was put into this. Size range for this is 31.5 inches to 63 3/4 inches. And she says this also can be knit with long sleeves. So this is an amazing pattern. So it's like a twofer. So moving on to tank tops, we have the Bliss Tank by Alicia Plummer. This is knit in a sport weight yarn, US size 9. The yardage requirements are 380 to 1100 yards, and it has a bust circumference of 31 inches to 69.5 inches. So this is knit bottom up, and the front and the back are joined at the shoulders with a 3 needle bind off, and it has a subtle A-line shape. So I think this is a really classic tank top pattern. I like the thicker straps because it's easier to wear a bra without your bra strap showing. This is a very classic pattern to have in your library, and I think it'll be very useful. Next up, we have the Dove's Bay Vest. This is a drops design pattern. It's knit out of a DK weight cotton yarn, US size 6 needles. It has size range. It doesn't have the bust circumference that I could tell listed on the pattern page on Ravelry. I'm sure once you download the pattern, you can find that out. It shows a size small to a triple XL size range. I don't know what they consider those sizes to be, but if you're interested in this pattern, you can go look that up. It's bottom up, it has lace and cables. I think that this pattern would look really good over summer dresses, tank tops. This pattern would be another great bathing suit cover up. I really like this one, and I think I'm gonna try to knit this one for sure. I have some accessories I'd like to share with you. The first one is Glasses Case by Frankie Brown. This is a DK weight yarn, US size 6 needles. She said that this is made with slip stitches to make a nice padded fabric for your sunglasses. Next up is the Lena bag. I neglected to write down the pattern designer name. I will include that here in the description. So the Lena bag is sport weight. It's US sport weight, knit on US size 6 and size 4 needles. The yardage requirement is 270 yards. This is knit in linen yarn from the bottom up in the round. And the designer says this is a very stretchy bag with comfortable wide straps. And the straps, she said, are short on purpose so that when this bag is filled, it doesn't sag down to your knees. So on Ravelry, there's a picture of a girl carrying 5 wine bottles in this bag, and it doesn't seem to be stretching far down because of that wider short strap helps that. Another bag option is the Summer Fling by Espace Tricot. This is knit out of a sport weight yarn, 336 yards in linen, and this bag is knit flat first on the bottom, and then it's picked up and then knit in the round up. And I think this is a really classy type of satchel, and I think I would really like to have this one as well. That's why they're in my roundup. So lastly, we have a little book cover, and this is the Bee book cover by AHandKnitLetter, and this is a DK weight yarn, 131 to 164 yards, and she gives instructions on how to customize this for different size books. And wouldn't you look amazing if you showed up in your summer top carrying your knitted bag, and inside of it were your glasses in the glasses case and your book in its book cover. I wanted to share these free patterns because things are expensive. Knitting's expensive and life in general is expensive. So if we can save money any way possible, that's great. And the money that you save from this, you can go to the store and buy 2.5 eggs. Something else I wanted to mention is a website called yarnsub.com. A lot of times when I am looking at knitting patterns, I will also look at the suggested or called for yarn, and a good majority of the time it's not something that I can afford, or it's just not budget friendly for me because I want to knit lots of things, not just one thing a year. Quite often that called for yarn is not within my budget. So I like to use a website called yarnsub.com. So on this website, you can plug in the called for or yarn that's suggested in the pattern into the search bar, and it will generate a whole bunch of different yarns that are similar to the yarn that you put in. And I'll tell you the reasons why that yarn is similar. The weight, the gauge, the texture, the fiber content, and also it will tell you how much it costs. It doesn't tell you exactly the price of the yarn, but it does like $1 sign up to I think $5 signs, so you can kind of have an idea whether if it's a pricey yarn or not. Just in case you haven't heard of that before, I wanted to make mention of that. When I was preparing for this video and compiling the patterns that I would like to share, I did notice a podcaster that I follow named Charlotte. She put up a 10 plus or 10 free knitting patterns for spring and summer, and I went and watched her video, and we only have one pattern that overlaps. So if you didn't find anything here, or if you just want to know about more knitting patterns, please go check out Charlotte's video, and I will also link that down below. Everything I talked about today will be linked down below in the description box, including Charlotte's podcast and yarnsub.com. Thank you so much for watching, and happy knitting.